Well, this is not exactly what I was hoping for. Not good. So now I've cut that out and I'm going to start figuring out how to do the inner well, but big mess over here is going to be trying to fix that, because that's not part of the quarter panel, that's behind it. I'll have to manufacture something. It's not going to be pretty. Earlier I had gotten this set of ignition coil and replacement for the points. This little thing slips around the sleeve, and instead of having points you have that, which makes it way easier for me to mess with. I also got brand new wires. Those are real fun, trying to figure out how to figure out which one goes to which plug. And you can see that I got the carburetors off, and they sent me new carburetors, and I just got them today. They're in the box, so we'll go check that out and see what goes on with that. So the Z Therapy box I got here this morning, and it has my carburetors inside that luckily they have a lot of the linkage and other stuff that they sent along with it. So they completely take these apart, and the way they polish the surface here is that they put it in a machine that hits it with really high pressure. The media that closes the actual pores in the metal, so that it's no longer has a porous surface. It's very smooth, and they do this inside and out, and then they put it all back together. They finally sent me the quarter panels. I've got one for the passenger side and one for the driver's side. They're big long pieces of metal that go underneath, under here. Recording more of the progress of this side, at least. We got the new alternator there and installed it, and in the process removed the voltage regulator and replaced it with just this little thing here. It's got some electronics inside that allow you to get rid of the voltage regulator, because it's an internally regulated alternator. And then I put new spark plug wires on and new spark plugs, and haven't finished on that side yet with the distributor, but we're going to get to that pretty soon. After we pulled the carburetors off of there, I wanted to make sure that everything else got fixed up. I started taking the rust off of some of these parts with the wire brush, and then I also replaced the thermostat in there and took off some of the crap that was on the surface, and in the process removed any of the rubber that needed to be replaced, like this piece here needed to be replaced. I tried to use a regular heater hose, but it's kinking, so I ordered a new one. I'm going to install that, and then once I get that installed, I think I can go ahead and put the new carburetors on there. I've got the balance tube installed, and none of the air pollution crap is there. And then I had to replace some of that other rubber there, and I've found that the regular heater hose is just fine, and that'll come around here and actually hook into the brake vacuum to assist the power brakes. You can take the carburetor that is not installed yet and install it, and before we do that I gotta put the linkage in between which is what I didn't do last time. So as we set this up, flat washer, lock washer, nut. Okay, we're gonna hook up the linkage here. We'll have to take all that play out of there eventually. We'll torque down the nuts, and then we're done with that. I just hooked up one of the throttle springs, and here's the other one. I'll put that there. Hook it down here. Next thing I'm going to do here is hook up the choke cable. After doing the other one, discovered that you need to take that off first and then push this down in there and hook it up through the hole down at the bottom before you tighten it down. Anyway, I gotta connect the vacuum advance for the distributor, and then we connect those to the back of the filter box, and then we're pretty much done. So I've got to drill out the spot welds, and you start with a 1/8 inch. You take this spot weld, probably isn't focusing, but anyway, it fits in that hole, and then you drill it out. And that way you remove the pieces that you need to remove, and you haven't destroyed the bottom piece. And that's what you wind up with when you've used the drill bit that takes the spot weld out. Now you can see that I'm getting this so I can pry it up. I'm going to have to work my way down a little bit further, and I don't know, I'm going to have to probably cut that up there where it's marked so I can get that piece off of there. But you can see that pops that loose, and then I can put the other part back on there. Once you've gotten those all the way through, then you can come back and you can see that you pry that whole piece off of there, and then all you have to do is put the new piece on there, and then you weld right there where the old spot was, and you got a place to show you where you're supposed to weld. So you think there's a little bit of rust? After finding about 6 million extra bolts that were holding this on, I finally got it off and can now get to the final places down here where the welds are and get that rocker panel off of there. Now I'll be able to fix this rust here. They've got little patches that fit right in there, and you can see I can get to a bunch of the rust that's kind of under where nothing could be sprayed. And where it was sprayed, you can see it's very nice, still in good shape, but where it wasn't able to get sprayed, it rusted. So I'll be able to clean most of that rust off of there and then go back with some sort of rust proofer. Maybe I might even put some of that truck bed stuff in there and make that so that it'll never rust again, at least not in my lifetime. As you can see, I've got the welds pretty much drilled out all along there, and that seems to be pretty loose. Well, I finally got the rocker panel off of there, but it definitely had some hidden ones, and I had to get inside and find them. So starting up there in the corner and then coming along here, I had to drill a couple of holes out because that's where their welds were on the inside. So underneath the rocker panel, we got this other piece of the car, and it's the actual car. I'm gonna have to replace this along here and then all that, and drilling those out is what I'm doing now. I sharpened this up pretty good. Now I got to cut some of this out of here. I've got to be careful to just go through the one layer and not the other. In some places, and then other places I've got to cut it all out. After looking at it and figuring out that some of it is still in good shape and other parts are not so hot, like this whole area here was all rotten, and I took it out, or almost. As soon as I break this off, it'll be out. And the outer part here is still strong, so I'm just going to make a piece that fits in there.